I'm back. It's your girl, Claudia Jordan, and we are back. The gang is all back together with a brand new episode of TGIF. We're here to spill the tea, break down the biggest headlines in the news and all over social media. So sit back, relax, get ready to sip this hot tea. I miss my co-host. I miss the messiness. I miss y'all. What's up, Al Reynolds?
What's going on, Claudia?
Dineva. What's up, fellas?
What's going on? Claudia, let me tell you something, baby.
I forgot you work here.
Cannot leave for as long as you did ever again, because baby, you left and the house almost burnt down, bitch. Okay, like on all the blogs, all the mess, all the drama. I'm like, Lord have mercy, we need to get the band back together. And I know soulmates are happy that the band is back together tonight.
I just want to say thank you, because I was off the grid for a while. I couldn't use my phone at all. And then at one point I was able to use some kind of electronics, and I was getting cursed out. They was like, if you could post a picture, you could be doing the show. And it was crazy. And I definitely miss you guys. And Al, I saw you get into it. You was holding your own, though. I got to say, there was a lot going on.
I learned that from the Claudia Jordan School of Media. You ain't going to come in my house. No, I'm kidding.
I hope the powers that be see that what we have is not about just plugging people in. It is about the chemistry that we have. And there were some great people that definitely held it down. Shout out to Carolina. She did a fantastic job. I think she's a great host. Shout out to T.S. Madison. And there was a few more the people that came through. So
Carlos came through. Dr. Heavenly came through.
Anybody else? Did I miss anybody else? Thank you for holding it.
I wasn't able to view the Quad show, but I hear Quad did a great job.
You know, it was just weird because all three of us were out across these 3 weeks. I had foot surgery, Al had oral surgery, and then you had your business stuff that you were handling. But we back together, y'all.
Well, let's get back into it. How was everybody's weekend? What did y'all do? Funky? I need to know what's up with your love life and your business. And Al, are you getting any in LA yet? What's happening?
I'm gonna let Q go first.
I went cross country. I went across the country to see a man.
A man about a dog, or a man
about a dog?
A man about a dog, a house, and a future.
That's why you're looking all fresh.
I had an amazing weekend.
Funky in love is so weird because he's used to him being bitter and mad. And everybody out. Look at him, looking at his he all demure, his little
sitting out.
Al, anything new with you?
Well, you know, I was recovering from surgery this weekend, but I do want to send a shout out to my Bowie State University students and family and alumni and friends. We know they had a shooting on campus this past weekend at their homecoming. And just across the board, this is the third shooting at a historically Black college and university in the DMV. It started out at Howard, where there was that big fight that we reported on, to the Morgan State University, where there was two shootings there we reported on. And I'm sharing now that Bowie State University had 2 shootings at their homecoming. And my prayers just goes out to everyone. Luckily, it wasn't amongst the students. It was people that came on campus for the activities, and it's just sad that these types of things are happening across the board at all our HBCUs. So prayers and shout outs to all the family and friends too.
I did not miss the bad news. Coming back to a war, shootings, all kind of stuff. All right, look, we are here to cheer everybody up and not bring everybody down. What are y'all drinking? Are y'all drinking tonight? Are we still on that BS? What we doing?
No, I'm drinking H2O, but I'm drinking it in a fancy glass. If that, honey, you know when you in love, honey, you got to drink out your fancy glasses, honey.
Here we go. And Al, you're probably on antibiotics, right?
Yep, I got 2 more days of antibiotics, but I'm gonna tell you, I need a drink after this week. So yes, hot tea right now.
I can't share what I was working on, but it was it was very, very rough. And I went through a lot. That's all I'm going to say. So I might be down in Miami soon. We might have to all meet up.
Bring your ass. Come on.
Have some drinks.
We'll get on the boat and all that good stuff.
Okay, let's do it. All right, y'all. I've been wanting to say this for almost a month now. Let's get into the show. Drake recently read Joe Budden to shreds after Buttons labeled him as an old head that's trying to appeal to youngins while trashing his new album, For All the Dogs. Now, in a lengthy post, Drake wrote, Joe Budden, you have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip because that is what you actually pays your bills. He also added, for any artist watching this, just remember, you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. All right, y'all, what are your thoughts on this beef between Drake and Joe Budden? And can you blame Drake for going in, or do you think it was justified what Joe Budden said? Al, what do you think?
Listen, I'm not that in tune with Drake's music like that. I'm not buying his albums, but I am listening to him commercially on the radio and on Pandora and in the clubs. And that to me is all cool, but I don't know Drake music like that. However, this response from a 51-time Grammy-nominated artist who is a billionaire is giving me a hit dog will holler. Sorry, it's what it's giving to me. And why would you have a response to someone who you claim is useless in the music industry, right? Pretty much has no credibility, and he's never even won a Grammy before, and I think maybe only nominated twice. Now, this I will say, though, I have to side on the side of Ebro in the morning, and I think he put it best. He said Joe Budden didn't fail at music because he could still make beauty. He could still make music. He said Budden chose not to play the game that they are forced to play as artists and as music makers. And he wasn't that interested in sacrificing out what he really wanted to produce for climbing charts and staying relevant in the music industry. That I totally agree with. And I'm still confused why Drake is spending so much time addressing someone who he claims is a loser.
Okay. Q, what do you think?
You know what, Al, I hear you 100%. I don't know that I'm buying that Joe Budden stopped making music because he didn't want to play the game.
Right.
Joe Budden had that one hit, Pump It Up, and I promise you, I don't know no other song outside of Pump It Up. Drake read him to smithereens, and it was so nice, nasty. And y'all, this is how you read people. You don't have to make shit up. You don't have to go grab stuff. You read people with their truth. And the funny thing about it is, I thought about it. We sit in the commentary space, right? But I do think there's some legitimacy to what Drake is saying when you are a retired rapper sitting in a commentary space, commenting on rappers. Like he said, a failure want to talk about a recipe for success. Had Budden just been a civilian, I think things would be better. But because you are somebody with a sketchy rap history, it kind of does make you look a little flawed critiquing the rap people, and you ain't even got nothing worth critiquing your own self.
So at first, when I first got back to Civilization and caught wind of this, I was like, okay, Joe, I was on the side of shut up, Joe Buttons. As he's told me before, shut up, Claudia. Shut up, Joe Buttons. You're just bitching again like you usually do. You're a hater. But then I went and looked and started seeing what the tea was on Drake's album. A lot of people are kind of on the same page saying this is not his best work and his albums have been getting progressively worse. Now, I know this album is more singing than rapping. And Drake did kind of tease this album as being like some of his best work, or he's going back to the old Drake, and it wasn't. So I think some fans were let down by it. Here's a problem. Here's an issue. We are in the commentary space. We speak on things that we ain't been through, or we're not good at ourselves. And I think everyone's entitled. And yes, Joe Budden did not have the rap career that he probably wanted to. He did have a couple hits back in the day, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have the right to critique. He can critique. He's actually one of the top podcasters in the game. And as much crap as he's talked and we've bumped our heads, I got to give credit where credit is due. He's actually really good at that. He's amazing at that. I do think it's a messenger. I think it's the messenger real quick. I just think it's the messenger because he comes up annoying and it's easy to say, well, you only had your one song. I feel you on that too. Go ahead.
I need you to stop sitting up here lying, talking about he had a couple hits. If he had
one,
name them. Because I only know Pump It Up.
Pump It Up.
I'm not being funny. I only know Pump It Up.
No, you're right.
He was nominated for 2 Grammys now. We're not going to degrade
Was he?
Man. Yeah, nominated for 2 Grammys. He didn't win.
Pump It Up.
He was?
Pump It Up.
Oh, I didn't know that. Hey, I was trying to be nice. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to be nice because he do be mad on that podcast. But you know what? we're going to listen to Drake's album. We're going to see what we think about it. But he has a right to say something and Drake has a right to read. But Drake, he read like...
It was very personal for him. The read was, it was very, you could tell it hit him in his soul.
Well, they've been feuding for a while, right? But I'm going to go to what Vanessa House says. She said, that's real, Al. His opinion should be irrelevant if he's washed up or on a lure. And Denise Johnson said, everybody's sick of Joe saying stupid ish, trying to draw attention to his podcast.
Yeah, at the end of the day, his job is to...
That's his job. So we can't argue with him about that.
And I know we got to move on to the next topic, but I just wanted to add, like, to make this argument fair on both sides, right? Because, I've had my opinions on these people. Drake, though, he kind of turns the people off with this album. Coming for Halle Berry, remember she asked to not have her picture used, that slime you out thing. Then he was like throwing shots people think at Rihanna on his album. So I think he's a little sensitive because people haven't come for him with this album. And I think Joe Budden's hit a nerve. I think they both hit nerves on each other. It was a
hit dog will holler. Hit dog will holler.
Nerve 69. Both nerves were tickles. Okay, anyway, social media is outraged after a video surfaced on the internet of Kevin Gates spitting in a fan's mouth during a concert. Y'all people are disgusting. Check this out.
Open your mouth. Stick your tongue out.
I hate seeing spit, male juice, and a couple other things. I cannot. And spitting in someone's mouth. Q is having a visceral reaction to this. Q, you're grossed out by this, Mr. Antics all over the place.
Yes, that is, it's just nasty. It's why? Just why? Like I y'all, I'm a little under the weather. I could sit here and read this man. I'm not even gonna go there. Just why? Like, who took a shower, put on their good clothes, went to sound check, and said, you know what, tonight, instead of doing my backflip, that 8 count I learned, and my double cha-cha, I'm gonna mess them up. I'm gonna spit in one lucky fan's mouth. Like, and I'm not even mad with him because Kevin does his little Kevin things. You nasty bitch.
And she's pregnant. She's pregnant.
If I was her man,
yes,
I'd beat her. We don't condone violence, but I'd have told her ass up when she got home. That is nasty. It's just nasty.
Al, Freaky Al, what do you think?
Look, well, you guys know I'm a Kevin Gates fan, and you know that Kevin Gates did say in his media tour that some things were going to be disruptive on this tour that we can expect, and I'm assuming, this one act was that. Now, this is my only thing. This was dumb. All right, this is simply not smart. Freaky, yes. But smart, never. We got to remember, guys, that saliva is DNA, and DNA can be used to press charges. This young lady, although she consented or allegedly consented, she could develop symptoms or illness and can change her minds because of a symptom of some type of illness, right? And then he opens himself up to the liability of being sued. And it's something he can't ignore. It's something he can't say didn't happen. There's tons of footage and there's tons of media coverage of it. The second thing is you got to remember that saliva, there's passing of 2 main STDs from saliva, and that is herpes, simplex 1, and HPV. And that is, something that you have to get tested for and know whether you got it, received it, or have it, right? So I just don't think that this is very smart. Freaky, yes, Kevin, and we know you're sex positive, but smart, absolutely not. And I know you're on tour, and I know you're going to go through the state of Ohio, but please don't try this in the state of Ohio because they have very, very strong laws regarding transmission as well as exposure through saliva on things from stuff like this.
And just a quick reminder, Kevin Gates proudly talks about how he drinks pee. and all this people licking everybody's booty hole now. You could, and you pregnant, you dirty whore, you smut bucket. That is, I'm trying not to curse, y'all. It's really hard, but damn, y'all, this is so. Don't you want to spit funky? Like thinking about this.
It's gross because we've all made out with somebody before, and you get a little taste of what their mouth's got going on, and we've all had unpleasant kisses before. I'm just sitting here trying to imagine what a mouthful of somebody else is. Go to the next thing, Claudia.
We're going to go to commercial break. I'm going to go rinse my mouth out with some salt water. This is disgusting. Coming up next, Jason Derulo speaks out against sexual harassment claims, and later find out why Kim Kardashian is team Tristan Thompson. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
You did not just tell me about the word Riz.
Riz.
Oh,
I gave y'all free Riz.
McMillan and Mara.
When you want to meet a woman or meet a guy, say something about the space.
Yeah.
And see how they respond.
Every Thursday.
Because if the person can't respond to an observation about the space that's clear, you talking to a dummy. Or someone you might take home, but not to your mama. And you know what I'm saying.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers. The sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Welcome back to TGIF. I gotta share something with y'all. During the commercial break, we have y'all know we have Joyce, and we have Justin, and we have Destiny and other people that are innocent. But two of the names I mentioned, y'all know, they was really low key kind of arguing for the spitting in the mouth, and right.
Well, I think he was saying, what's the difference then if you were kissing, or what's the difference if someone spits on their piece before you perform oral sex? So I'm going to agree with, I think, Tony Robinson in the chat, because he said this particular situation is a non-sexual relationship. So by me kissing someone or tonguing someone and swapping saliva is a chosen act that I agreed to, that I was sexually interested in or sexually we're
talking about a stranger. When you're down with someone, you do all kind of stuff. But I just want to say, one of those people's names that I mentioned is really about that life.
She tried to throw Justin out the. I'm
trying to leave it. I actually want people to
keep it classy.
I actually wanted people to think it may have been Joyce, but you just said he. I wanted people to think it may have been Joyce.
Joyce is into her crab legs and her, her smoking. That's all, and working out.
She'll spit on some crab legs, won't she? All right. Jason Derulo is speaking out against sexual harassment claims after an aspiring singer alleged that she had been pressured to have sex with him and was fired when she refused. Take a look at this.
I wouldn't normally comment, but these claims are completely false and hurtful. I stand against all forms of harassment, and I remain supportive of anybody following their dreams. I've always strived to live my life in a positively impactful way. And that's why I sit here before you deeply offended by these defamatory claims.
Any thoughts on these allegations, Al? Do you believe him?
No, I don't. And he could be 100% not guilty, but the way that came across felt planned. It felt rehearsed. It didn't seem genuine. It was too well lit, and he was too prepared. When you are trying to get on the side of someone's empathy or sympathy, you really have to be careful of the environment, the speech pattern, and what you say and how it comes across. Now, like I said, he could be 110% not guilty, but it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel like it with that explanation.
Oh, but you, like, I get you got to be prepared because you're a big star, I guess, but it didn't give authentic. Funky, right. Do you agree with that, or do you think it gave it authentic?
No, I agree with Miss Hollywood in the chat. She says it's he's reading a teleprompter. He was, and it was, and I'm deeply offended. I strive to help other artists, and that is why. I'm like, who even reads like that? Like, speak with the normal cadence and speak from the heart when you're apologizing. Put some bullet points and speak from the heart. Here's the thing, guys. You know, the Me Too movement taught me that when a woman says that she's been assaulted, that I'm supposed to blindly side with her. That's what I got from the Me Too movement, that we're not supposed to re-traumatize somebody by questioning their claims, so on and so forth, that we're supposed to follow this woman and believe what they say. And so I'm finna Me Too with her, I guess. And she said it happened. So I guess we're supposed to support her.
I'm going to say it does happen a lot more often than we think. And I think a lot of times these celebs get away with it because we're like, oh, gold digger, she just wants money. But they get away with so much that people don't say because people are afraid. All I know is I don't know the details of this case. I just got back in the country, but it did give very, very, very fake. It did not feel real at all. It felt like listen, I've been in some Tubi movies. I know bad acting when I see it because I've done it. Okay. But he was just so like, I'm deeply offended. Hey, let's all say I'm deeply offended in our best acting. Let's give an acting try. Who wants to go first? Okay. You've been on the stage a lot. Give me a sorry, or I'm offended, or I didn't do it.
I'm gonna give you Angela Bassett, deeply offended.
Yeah.
And I'm deeply offended.
Oh, that's so aggressive.
Yeah.
Come on, Oscar.
Okay, I think I would be like, and I'm deeply offended.
Guilty. Hold on, let me go back to my Tubi days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm deeply offended.
Oh, that is guilty.
And Claudia, speaking of Tubi, I saw a clip the other day. Why you shot that little child?
Oh, I know, right?
Why you came home from prison and shot that baby?
I told my man to wait for me like I waited for him. He said yes. I said, when we get out, I get out, we're going to start a family. He said yes. When I get out, the one person he's with is the parole officer. I went to jail for shooting, so everyone got to die. And let me tell you, the movie's good. It's just the last part, the editing is so janky that people think, and the Snoop Dogg posted it, Michael Blackson, that has been all over social media. Everyone's like, now, Claudia, why you have to shoot the kid?
I want to know, when I watched it, Claudia, I want to say that you told the director we need to shoot them all. Is that true?
I did suggest that. I did add
I knew you probably suggested let's kill them all for effect. Hey, it worked,
the stomping wasn't in the script, and the kid, we had him say, I'm just a kid. It wasn't really in there. So, yeah, guilty. Okay, anyway, good job, y'all. Good job. Hey, a funeral home in Colorado was under investigation after more than 115 human remains were found being improperly stored on the property. Now, according to officials, the body conditions are atrocious and will need to be identified through DNA. As of now, it is unclear what the funeral home was planning to do with the deceased bodies. Funky, I'm going to you first. What are your thoughts on this shocking story? Like, this is disgusting.
Well, you know, I'm really baffled by this, right? Because all the funerals that I go to, I watch the body go into the ground. Mm-hmm. So I'm just confused at how they could stockpile this many bodies. Now, I'm smart enough to realize, okay, maybe you were supposed to cremate some of these people's bodies and you gave some of these people kitty litter or whatever, but it would just seem to me 115 bodies is a lot of damn bodies. And I know good and well that all of these could not have been people who assumed their loved ones were being cremated. It's weird. It's giving the funeral home was probably trying to cut corners, or maybe their incinerator broke 15 years ago. I mean, it's definitely given, we trying to keep all the profit and just throw them bodies in the back in the closet.
Al, what do you think?
Well, I think the key element behind this story, Q, is to understand that this funeral home does what's called green burials. So that means they don't use any type of embalming fluid. They don't use any chemicals to stop anything. They have this rule at green burials that you're not allowed to use anything while they're waiting for cremation or while they're waiting to be put in the ground. There's nothing to be used on them. So what happens in this particular case, you have to put them somewhere, and you can't put them, you either have to put them in a refrigerator that's big enough, but obviously they couldn't do that. They didn't have a refrigerator big enough for this. And this is what happens when you do green burials.
I refuse to believe that funeral home is that active and that busy that they got 115 people waiting to be buried. Most people bury bodies within a week or two. So for them to have 115 bodies stockpiled, I mean, they would be the billionaire funeral home if they had that much business. There's definitely some foul play going on here.
I think there's probably some side eyes is going on, but remember with green burials, you have to put them in the ground in 24 hours. If you don't put them in the ground in 24 hours, you have to take them somewhere. You have to store them until they're ready for cremation or until they are, ready for burial. What we do know from this particular case is that they're not, under any type of investigation for any wrongdoing based on what the burial home's business model and what they say they do.
We have someone from Colorado Springs in the comment. Rescue Dog Mama said, Colorado Springs resident here. This was incredibly sad. This was a natural place. Awful owners. And Sandra Nicole said, is that where the leg is?
That's probably where that leg is.
That is probably where that leg is.
That's probably where that leg is.
Hey, y'all, a young Florida boy is kicking off Halloween a little early after he was spotted scaring his neighborhood while dressed like the artificial intelligence doll Megan from the horror film Megan. Take a look. All right, what would you guys do if you came across this little demon in your neighborhood, Al? Would you be scared or would you laugh at it?
That's scary. Yeah, I would laugh at it. Halloween is one of my favorite times. You guys know it's my favorite season. I love Halloween, and I can't wait till we decide. What are we deciding this year, guys? What are we deciding we're going to do? Have we decided?
We have to dress up, you guys. I want to see what you were Jesus last year, and
I was light-skinned
Erica
Jesus.
Badu.
And I absolutely hate Halloween. I hate it. Call me a Grinch. Call me a bitter old person.
Old person.
Feel like, damn, you're just too damn old to be grown dressing up. I hate Halloween.
But it was so funny last time.
It was funny last time, but don't give me nothing complicated if we dressing up this year. Let me do something I can do with some arts and crafts that's in the house already.
I know Al likes it because that's when you get to dress like a little slat.
Yeah, what's a slat?
Have your body out there in the street.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, Kim Kardashian is in full support of Tristan Thompson. And later, Mowry opens up about dating challenges post-divorce. Stay tuned. Hit that button.
You did not just tell me about the word Riz.
Riz.
Oh,
I gave y'all free Riz.
McMillan and Mara.
When you want to meet a woman or meet a guy, say something about the space.
Yeah.
And see how they respond.
Every Thursday.
Because if the person can't respond to an observation about the space that's clear, you talking to a dummy. Or someone you might take home, but not to your mama. And you know what I'm saying.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid
knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You can say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You can chat with them in VR. It's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
TGIF.
Al and I, battle of the cleavage. Who got the sluttiest shirt on tonight? I say Al wins.
Live and interactive.
Curvy girl said Claudia's showing us her white side today. Coming to work with her wet hair. No, I had to do a test in a pool today.
Serving up all the tea.
Funky, how's the dating life going?
It's going to the next thing.
No, the phonies want to know.
I'm like Oprah and Stedman. Y'all will never get my real business. So
on Fox Soul.
Welcome back to TGIF. Hey, y'all, Halloween's coming up, and real quick, I want the soulmates to put in the chat who they would like us to dress up as for Halloween. We had some off-mic suggestions, but we want to hear what the soulmates would like us. So say funky, who you want them to be, Al, Claudia. We would love to take your suggestions into consideration, and who knows? All right, y'all, let's get into a way to save some money. You know, things are tough for some people, for a lot of people right now. So every year we all pledge to save more and spend less. But how are you supposed to save when you're paying inflated prices for everyday essentials like gas and groceries? Well, you can't just cut those purchases out of your budget. But now, thanks to my 2023 money back hack, you can get cash back from them with Upside. Upside is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or dines out. With Upside, I get cash back on every purchase. It's my secret weapon for staying on track with my savings goals. Now, Upside does offset inflated prices by giving you cash back on your purchases, so it really can add up. So I highly, highly recommend that you download the app and see for yourself. Funky, when and where do you use Upside?
I use Upside to put gas in my rich automobile. That I can barely afford to pay the car note on. So Upside definitely helps me. I tell y'all all the time, you know, the push notifications that you get from Upside are a lifesaver because it points you in the direction of nearby facilities where you can utilize the app to get the discounts and to get the savings. And so that's where I use it the most on the gas side. And I definitely, since we've been advertising the product and, you know, using it, I have definitely reaped financial benefits from using Upside for gas.
Very nice. And Al, when we talk about how easy is it, how easy is the app to use?
Let me tell you how super easy it is. Do you know that the Upside is great at show you what you get? So as it relates to gas, as it relates to restaurant, as it relates to grocery, you put into Upside how much you spend each month in each category, and it will shoot back to you based on their recommendations how much you can save that month. I love that show and tell concept. So if anybody is really interested in saving money and getting it back, Upside puts their money where their mouth is.
All right. Now, fellas, what do y'all plan on doing with all your cash back?
Buying more groceries and restaurant meals.
Buying plane tickets and traveling out of town.
Okay. Well, to get started, download the free Upside app. Use promo code TGIF. That's TEAGIF. And get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Next, claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside, then pay as usual with a credit card or debit card. Follow the steps in the app and get paid. In comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs, you can earn up to 3 times more cash back with Upside. Download the free Upside app and use promo code TEAGIF to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code TEAGIF. I think this is fantastic, and you should not miss out on this. Promotional consideration furnished by Upside. Okay, let's get back to the topics, but I'm also seeing the suggestions, some of them are trying to be shady. They said Funky could be Chloe Bailey, and then someone else said Funky should be J.J. Evans. Al dress up as Drake. Funky, Gladys Knight and the Pimps. Destiny's Child. Al is Dr. Heavenly.
Oh,
we got some shady ass soulmates.
Just no loyalty.
Q as Smokey from Friday, Al as Carlton Banks, and Claudia as Felicia from Friday. Damn. Okay. All right, y'all. We'll take a look.
We got some good ones. We got some good suggestions.
Those are cute. Okay. Hey, Kim Kardashian is receiving backlash for recently hyping up Tristan Thompson after he cheated on her sister Khloe multiple times. Kim said, "We've had our talks about it, and we've had our fights about it, and we've had our arguments about it, but he's also shown so many decent things and just has been a really good person and friend. When he saw me struggling with my kids, he stepped up." Now, would you guys befriend your sister's ex if he cheated on them multiple times during their relationship? Al?
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. You hurt me. If you hurt my sister, you hurt me. And you're not going to be toting my nephews around and my nieces around and all that bull crap. All that is just simply bull crap. I mean, clearly this is setting us up. We know that Tristan and Khloe are probably going to get back together if they're not back together already. And Kim Kardashian just setting the stage for us to take it more lightly or help her sister not get all that pushback for taking him back like this by saying, oh, he's a great guy. He helps out with the kids and all that type of stuff. If you've needed food for your kids, Kim, you got tons of people to help you with that. You got an entire staff of security, drivers, maids, etc. Don't try to make me believe that. I'm just not buying none of it.
Okay, I hear you. Q, what do you think?
You know, it's weird because I don't see anything wrong with it. Granted, Khloe and Tristan were never married, but that's just like the uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like your aunt married a man, y'all got kids. He's still part of the family. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still going to be around for the next eternity. They've got kids together. So why not find a way to move past the infidelity? I gotta see you. You're going to be in your kids' lives. You're going to be in my kids' lives. And as far as befriending them, I mean, hell, Khloe keep taking them back. So shit, Kim is just following her sister lead.
That makes sense. You know, I don't think Kim meant harm by saying this, but I could see how it would negatively affect other people just by default, just because, right? Like, the sister of the other baby mama, the first one, Jordan, her sister, I think her name is Jordan. She was like, okay, Kim, that's cool. He's nice to you, but he ignores his other kid. Like he doesn't do, so it's funny. He can do all this stuff for your kids and pick up slack in your household, but you know, try to be more sensitive to another woman that's going through something where he's not there for the other kids at all. And Marley, I don't think, has Tristan even met Marley's kid? The last one he had?
That's none of Kim's business though. That's not.
No,
I
know.
That's like that sister. She's out of line. I don't owe it to you to be accommodating to your feelings and your situation. I don't know you, girl. I don't know you. I don't.
I guess I'm thinking I'm like on some girl code stuff though. You know, like you see another woman another mother who's not really getting her needs met. I don't know. I would think she'd have some kind of sympathy for that. But I hear you. You're just protecting your sister, I guess. But yeah, people was mad about it. All right, y'all, keep it locked because coming up next, Mowry gets candid about dating post-divorce, and later Sherri Shepard shares her thoughts on Sexy Red. Oh, that's another suggestion, Funky. Someone has said for you to be Sexy Red for Halloween.
I can't get that nasty.
We'll be right back.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear. To jog where we please, to wear a hoodie, the freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
TGIF.
Al and I, battle of the cleavage. Who got the sluttiest shirt on tonight? I say Al wins.
Live and interactive.
Curvy girl said Claudia's showing us her white side today. Coming to work with her wet hair. No, I had to do a test in a pool today.
Serving up all the tea.
Funky, how's the dating life going?
It's going to the next thing.
No, the phonies want to know.
I'm like Oprah and Stedman. Y'all will never get my real business. So
on Fox Soul.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
My mom wanted my life to be better than what she had as a kid. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. You always want the next generation to have something better than what you had.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. Make sure you hit that like button. And we see about over 6,000 people in the chat, a couple like 6,300. So thank you very much. All right, Tia Mowry is clapping back at the naysayers after opening up about the challenges of dating since divorcing her ex-husband, Corey Hardwick. Now, Tia said, just because the dating life is complicated doesn't mean I'm going to go back to something that no longer served me. That's like saying if I don't book an audition or a part right away, I'm going to give up my dreams as an actor. Please stop. I ain't that weak. Please move on because I have. Thank you. Next. Does Tia have a point, Q?
she most definitely has a point. I don't know, just her words seem so insensitive to Corey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why I have this mental vision that Corey is like sitting somewhere in like a 1-bedroom apartment in LA, like broke and crying. You know what I'm saying? And essentially what she's saying is hell would freeze over before I go back to him. And that's got to be a hard thing to hear in the press, especially from someone who did not want the divorce. You know what I'm saying? From someone who was divorced. It just reads a little insensitive, but you know, it's her life. She can do and say whatever she wants, I guess.
All right, Al, what are your thoughts on this?
I agree with Funky on this 100%. I think she just needs to stop talking about her relationship in the press altogether. Those two sisters, you know, we've grown up. Well, I've seen them grow up, considering I'm much older than them. And I've always kind of leaned on those ladies as example when it comes to self-empowerment and motivational and enlightening. And then to hear these type of comments come out of her mouth just didn't hit well for me. So I got to agree with Funky on this one. Like, kind of lay out the media talking about your marriage, because it just makes you look like you're not as far along or as well developed in this departure as you may want to be perceived as.
Maria said, welcome to the modern dating pool. It sucks. Yes, it does. I will say this. When I got from her what she's saying about it, they got a divorce, right? And she's like going back out in the dating world already, which whatever. And she's like, oh my God, it's terrible. I didn't realize it was beautiful when he was doing it, but I still don't want to go back to him. So that tells me that I kind of have to give them both a little bit of credit, because maybe something really bad happened between them and neither one of them has really thrown each other on the bus and saying what it was. So I am glad that they're not getting that messy, like throwing shots, but not telling you exactly what happened. Like she's like, I'm not going back to it. And that's all y'all need to know. So I hope they keep that up and it doesn't get ugly where he's like, well, she did this and he cheated and she did this. You know, I will say they are behaving and, you know, they told the lie. Yeah. You know, but girl, it is horrible out in these streets, except for Funky. So I don't know if there's any way y'all can make that work to get back together.
Well, y'all go to New Orleans and get y'all a man like I did.
Is this the first time you said this online? Is this your first? Did you just make it official? Saying you're man and
actually, this is probably the first time he has shared, Claudia, that he went across the country to to see his boyfriend. Yeah.
Oh, so it's a full
On to the next thing, child.
Full on. I've been gone. I've been wanting to hear the tea.
I'll tell you offline. I don't tell these nosy bitches my business. y'all won't tell my damn relationship, bitch. Okay.
All right, y'all. In extraterrestrial news, Amazon is offering $1 million to any resident in the U.S. who can provide unmodified scientific proof of a real extraterrestrial being on their indoor or outdoor Ring device. You know, everybody's always editing the videos. I get so sick and tired of that. Just give us the real footage. What are your thoughts on this contest, Al?
Hey, I think this is brilliant. Actually, this needs to be studied at like Harvard Business School or one of the great business schools, because this is awesome cross-promotional advertising and marketing at its highest level. We know that Amazon owns the Ring-like company. It's a security company, so they own it. So without endorsing them and having all of their users go to them, they created a contest to cross-promote so that they could share revenue. Brilliant, brilliant, well done, super smart.
Okay, Funky?
I definitely believe it's brilliant. To Al's point, I'm just not in the mood for these crazy ass UFO X-Files people. You know, that's a crazy faction of the world, and I'm just not ready for my timeline to be flooded out with all of these fake alien sightings, and I don't know that I'm ready for this UFO thing to be reignited with all the other stuff that we got going on in the U.S. right now. But it is great marketing for the company, and yeah.
I kind of want to see some real footage, because I've been seeing. It seems like every time someone spots Bigfoot, the Loch Ness monster, or aliens, it's always grainy footage, and they always turn it off and then go back. I would love to see some real footage. All right. In other news, Ed Sheeran confirmed with GQ that he has his own grave built in his backyard. That's hella weird. Now, he said it's a hole that's dug in the ground with a bit of stone over it. So whenever the day comes and I pass away, I get to go in there. People think it's really weird and really morbid, but I've had friends die without wills and no one knows what to do. Now, is this a smart idea? And would you be open to building a grave in your backyard? Funky, you look really, your soul looks bothered by this. So what do you think?
You know, white people just don't know how to cope. What the hell you mean? I've had people die without wills and they know what to do. You go to the funeral home. You go to the funeral home and you sell plates to raise money to bury the damn person. I mean, there's a script for this. What do you mean you don't know what to do? We know what to do with the body part. You know, we might not know what to do with the money and the assets and all that stuff. But at a minimum, wherever you die, we get the yellow pages and call a couple of funeral homes and ask them how much and how many programs I get with that. And do that come with a family car? like we know what to do, Ed Sheeran. This is just crazy. It's creepy, and I question his true motives for this, because you dug this hole on this property, but who's to say that, is this a property he owns?
Yes.
Who's to say that you're going to still have the property 20 years from now? I mean,
oh, that's a good point, Funky. I never thought about that.
I'm thinking it's a tax write-off thing, because if you have a grave in your backyard, I wonder how it works if you like have it. Because if you put you can get away with a lot of taxes, your tax burden, if you have a grave in your backyard.
You know, that's what Donald Trump did and buried Ivanka Trump on that damn golf course by herself.
With no stone. Al, what you think about this? You think he's doing it for taxes? Or what you think?
I don't know. I can imagine that he may have, Claudia, now that you bring it up. And both of y'all bring up two incredible points. But this particular thing, putting my body in the backyard, that's not for me. But I've said this on the show before. I think preparing for your funeral day is cool. Like, you guys know, I want to do an end of life video, or you call it a memorial video, where at the funeral, I'm going to come on and I'm going to invite, welcome people to my funeral and tell them kind of, my thoughts and stuff.
Houdini said, Black folks, we go with fish and spaghetti plates.
Spaghetti plates?
Yes, honey. Al, come on.
At a funeral?
Al, you know when black people ain't got no money to bury their body, we start selling plates.
I got to be honest. I have never gone to a funeral where a plate was sold.
No, you don't. Oh my God, Al, you can be so white sometimes. Jesus Christ, Al.
What are you?
We're talking about ain't gonna be no funeral if we don't sell no plates, Al. We selling plates to raise money to bury the person.
Okay, got it. So before you get to the funeral, you purchased a plate. What are y'all playing with me right now? Like, I know I am not the only person that don't know what the hell you're talking about.
When people don't have insurance, oftentimes in the black community, we have to do a fundraiser in order to raise money to bury them. And in many communities, people sell plates.
The family sells the plates.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. All right.
I just don't want anyone to put me on a t-shirt with them ghetto clouds in my face, like just come out the clouds and look it up. Like, I hate those t-shirts. All right, y'all, coming up, Sherri Shepard shares her thoughts on Pound Town sensation, Sexy Red, Funky's favorite rapper. Find out why when we return.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
You did not just tell me about the word Riz.
Riz.
Oh,
I gave y'all free Riz.
McMillan and Mara.
When you want to meet a woman or meet a guy, say something about the space.
Yeah.
And see how they respond.
Every Thursday.
Because if the person can't respond to an observation about the space that's clear, you talking to a dummy. Or someone you might take home, but not to your mama. And you know what I'm saying.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, "I want him. He's got to come home with me." Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
Welcome back to the show. Why are they in the comments talking about Al's upbringing, being rich and having life insurance and not knowing nothing about selling plates? They said, Al is bougie. That's all horse pasture, Virginia. They are equestrians with land and stuff. They have life insurance.
I do remember people coming around and selling you life insurance. Now that happened all the time at church.
We ain't have no money for that. We sell plates. Granny only has, when Granny died and she only got $600 in her account, and the funeral home said they'll hold the body for 2 weeks. We got to do what we got to do. So we start selling plates to get Granny in the ground.
Okay, that's a lot of plates.
Yeah. All right. Get your insurance, y'all. All right. In a recent appearance on The Breakfast Club, Sherri Shepard had a few questions about Sexy Red's viral song, Pound Town. Sherri asked, when did just getting money and showing your booty hole to dudes become sexy? Me? I come from the school of let them imagine something. Don't just come and show him everything. When did your booty become the emphasis now? What are your thoughts? Al, I know you're chomping at the bit to speak on this one. I like when you say booty holes. This sounds funny.
Booty holes.
Booty holes.
You know, Sherri and I are about the same age, so I'm with her on this. But guys, guess what? The other day she hit me up, and I sent this to Joyce. Actually, she hit me up and she sent a picture of a post of a clip of us talking about her on the show, and she was like, "Thanks for the love and support." So shout out to Sherri Shepard and the new season, her new season 2.
And
Thanks
Sherri,
for watching the show.
It would be nice if you bring us to your show. Like, we came and supported your first episode. We would love to sit on the couch with you and promote our show, Sherri Shepard. We love you. We are fans. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Q. Be nice.
No. I love Sherri. No, me and Al Tootsie roll with Sherri at the Essence.
Oh, that's right.
We had a real good time with Sherri. Me, Sherri, Cynthia, a few other folks. We love Sherri. Hey, Sherri girl. But she's absolutely right, y'all. She's absolutely right. You know, I'm not gonna belabor the point. Y'all already know how I feel about the sexy reds of the world. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. The other night, I was laying in bed, and I had a change of heart when it comes somewhat to some of these new artists. Picture this, right? So let's just take Sexy Red. She is somebody who was not going to make it the traditional way, right? She's not giving college bound, gonna go, become, some executive at Xerox or whatever the case may be. Could you, I think sometimes when we speak on these people, we speak from such a position of privilege, and here is why. Could you imagine coming from an environment where you never thought you'd have a Benz, never thought you'd have a big house, nobody around you has ever had anything. All you see is poverty and destitution. And then it's like, bam, you find this lick or you find this gimmick that now makes it possible for you to have all of these things people like you probably would never have, or the world said you shouldn't have. And I think approaching people like Sexy Red and the Sukiana from that lens allows me to be a little more softened when approaching them, because that's really what it is with Sexy Red. She wouldn't have been able to make the type of money she's making any other way. You can look at her and tell what type of family she probably comes from. And I think that's why, people like her get stuck in this rabbit hole doing things like this.
It's easy to blame her, right? It's easy, but then we don't know her upbringing. We don't know how she came up, all that stuff, her hardships, all that kind of stuff. I have to look at our society as a whole, though, because she made a song that was just going to be a thing on YouTube, which she said, "My pee is pink, my booty hole is brown." And it was so ridiculous that everybody shared it and people loved it. And Nicki Minaj saw her and was like, "I want to jump on the remix." And it elevated her and she blew the hell up. So I actually have people I know that know her. Shout out to my girl L'Oreal that has interviewed her several times. So she loves her authenticity. She has not changed. She is exactly like the girls where she grew up. And there's an audience for that. My thing is it's us, the society, the consumers. We are buying that. That's what we like. We like hearing about someone's booty hole. And yeah, there's a generational thing. Us older, over 40 years old, we're like, wait, what? But, that's kind of like where we're heading right now as a society. So sometimes I got to think, do we blame the consumer or the person that's selling? We sell the drug addict or is it the addicts? I mean, the drug addict or the drug dealer? You know what I mean? So I think she's making the best of her situation. Is it my cup of tea? No, I'd rather not know about the color of your booty hole. It's really none of my business. I'm with Sherri too. Sherri, we are available for the new season of your show. We have to come on down to New York and be on the couch with you. All right, y'all. A California woman is opening up about a rare condition that prevents her from being around water. The chronic illness, man, really? I can't pronounce that. It's a water allergy she developed at the age of 8. Tessa Hansen-Smith said, "I would come out of showers and have huge welts on my skin and my scalp would be bleeding after showering. So the first thing we did was, okay, let's take away your shampoos and conditioners and soaps." What are your thoughts on this rare condition that it's super hard to even say? What do y'all think about this? I'm allergic to water.
It's a sad way to live. I was just worried about her cleanliness, and she said that she used moist towelettes and things of that sort. But it's got to suck. And just so the soulmates know, she also has issues ingesting water as well. This has got to be a nightmare to live in.
Jesus Christ, Al.
Yeah, this has to be one of the worst allergies ever. And what is her sex life like? Like, if you can't clean up after sex, like, do you have a sex life? Or, oh, wait, maybe she can bathe in milk, Q, because they talked about she's not allowed to drink water, but she is allowed to drink milk. So maybe she can bathe in milk, because I feel more comfortable now, because you got to put some soap on those high,
milk is sticky.
Those high stinky areas.
Hey, it's like taking a bath in like salt water, like the stickiness.
Even skim milk?
I think so. Yeah. Well, damn, there's no jokes to be made about that. That's just a trap. Look, we trying to be serious. Look, it ain't gonna work. Look, everybody. Hey, I want to thank Al Reynolds and Funky Dineva for doing the damn thing. Thanks for watching us on YouTube and always support. Stay tuned for Foxhole Face Off. This was so fun being back with y'all. We're gonna do it right one more time. Like, we'll be back tomorrow. Bye, y'all. Bye,
All right, soulmates. Glad you're back, Claudia.